Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukutali.
And a wonderful morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining us this morning is a guest who has very many interesting possibilities, and it's nothing to do with the bond. And welcome on our set this morning, Professor Rohan Munasinghe, who is the head of the Department of Electronics and Telecom Engineering at the University of Mortua. Good morning to you, Professor Munasinghe.
Good morning, Faz. Good to be here.
And nice to have you on our program.
Yeah.
And UAVs, drones, that appears to be your speciality. What on earth is a UAV and what is a drone?
Yeah, a plane which is flying fully autonomously,
right,
is usually known as drone.
Okay.
But it has to be equipped with a weapon or something, right?
Right.
For it to be qualified as a drone.
Okay.
But anything else that is flying fully autonomously or with semi-autonomous controls, we can call it unmanned aerial vehicle.
Right.
When there's no pilot on board.
I see. So, at the University of Mortua, in your department, one of the things you're doing is you're letting students major or specializing in this aspect, is it?
Yeah, our major degree, undergraduate degree, is in electronics and telecommunication engineering.
Right.
But as you know, electronics and telecom are core technologies, right? They are not application domains. Out of that, we can have many different application areas like robotics, networking, software, and telecom field, biomedical, you name it. So we have many thrust areas like that in our department. And one of the thrust areas we added recently is unmanned aerial vehicles.
Right. And how long has this program been going on?
We started back in 2012.
Okay.
And we developed the first autopilot in Sri Lanka back then, 2012. And since then we have been developing this technology up until today. And my students in our department, they are engaged in developing new technologies for UAVs as their final year projects.
I see. And how many of these lucky students do you have?
Every year I get about 4 or 5 students to my UAV group.
Okay.
And over the years, probably about 20-25 people have been trained on UAVs.
Right.
And some of them are actually working outside, right? And some of them are still in my group.
Right.
So together with them, I have started a UAV spin-off, also a startup company to design, build and deploy UAVs locally.
So this is the commercial side of it.
Exactly.
How successful is it so far?
We are in the hatching period, initial period of development. We have a few aerial platforms, drones, developed for different applications. Right. And we have already started commercial operations just last year, December, January.
What when you mean start? What are you allowed to tell us what sort of application is this?
Yeah, the first application is first and foremost for UAVs is aerial surveying.
I see.
It's like ground surveying, but you go in air, with a camera, and you take photos and you stitch them together and create the map of the environment, the ground. Especially in huge areas, tens of thousands of hectares, which is very difficult to be surveyed on ground.
Right. Sorry. And let's discuss how big are these unmanned vehicles, aerial vehicles you're talking about?
The smallest one we have developed, we name it CB, which is about 3 kilograms in weight.
And in terms of size?
Size is about 1.5 meter in wingspan. Right. And this can fly continuously for about half an hour.
Right.
And if you deploy this for aerial surveying application, it can cover easily 3.5 square kilometers.
Right.
In one single flight.
Sorry. And How robust are these things?
They are actually very robust.
Right.
Very robust in the sense that you can take it off very easily.
Yeah.
You can land them using a parachute. You don't need a huge runway or open space to take off and landing these UAVs. And also in the air, they have very good flying qualities.
Right.
Because you take photos, right, while you are flying.
Right.
So therefore you have to have very stable flight.
Yeah.
And continuous speed along the mission from start to the end.
Yeah.
So we have developed the controllers to make the plane very robust, very accurate, and perform very well in the mission.
I see. And the biggest one in terms of endurance, how long can you?
Yes. So I think you remember Ravan. Last couple of years,
yes,
it was on news.
Right.
After Ravan, we developed our commercial UAV in
right,
that size, about around 10 kilograms,
right,
and about 3.5 meter wingspan, which can fly continuously about 70 minutes, covering altogether, if you look at the up and down distance,
yeah,
77 kilometers in using 1 liter of fuel.
Right.
1 liter of fuel. That is the biggest one we have right now.
So 1 liter of fuel can fly for how long?
In terms of time,
yeah,
endurance, it's
yeah,
about 70 minutes.
Right.
In terms of distance, nearly 80 kilometers.
That means from start, point to point.
That's right. That's right.
So return to where you are.
Exactly.
Or return to base.
Yes.
So what are the commercial possibilities?
Yeah, you can use these drones. The first application, as I already mentioned, aerial surveying.
Yeah.
You can map the entire Sri Lanka using drones, and you know exactly what is happening on the ground right now.
Right.
Whereas Google Maps,
yeah,
if you use Google Maps, the maps are not up to date. They are
right,
old. They are not of high resolution. UAVs provide you
what about
up-to-date maps.
agricultural use?
Yes, of course. For agriculture, you can use these drones,
yeah,
and fly over huge crop fields,
yeah,
and detect where you need fertilizer or pesticides or whatever.
Right, but you can't. Do you have a machine that can carry pesticide or
That's right.
something?
Yeah, we have developed recently one such drone,
right,
for agriculture, precision agriculture,
right,
and also package delivery.
Yeah.
So we intend to use the same drone for both these applications, right?
Right. And obviously these are all wonderfully made in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, that is the highlight of all these things. You can actually buy UAVs from the global market,
Yeah.
paying huge amount of money,
Yeah.
and you don't know what's happening inside. If
Yeah.
there's a fault or something, you have to send it back to the original
Yeah.
manufacturer to fix it up. But here we have the local technology developed, and we can provide after-sales service if they need,
Yeah.
if anybody wants to use our drones, or else we can deploy our team for aerial
It's all very exciting and very patriotic, and because it's all made in Sri Lanka. And,
Made in Sri Lanka.
And what is the impact on the students? They must be. They haven't even left the shores of Sri Lanka, and the latest world technology is
Yeah.
available for them to play with.
That's
to
right.
learn.
One of the problems we are having right now is brain drain.
Right.
We train our students
Yeah.
to do high-tech jobs, but out there in our local industry, we don't have that kind of opportunities for them.
Right.
So they go for maybe software, IT fields.
Yeah.
Now, with these new technologies being developed locally, UAVs, robotics, electronic design, whatever, we try to retain our students here in Sri Lanka and provide them with high-skill job opportunities.
Right.
So we have been able to do this to some extent already. So some of my students, they are staying with me and working on these UAV applications.
Wonderful. It's time to take a short commercial break, and don't go away. After all, this is Newsline. Join us right back. And welcome back. And this morning on Newsline, live from Newsfirst Studios in Dawson Street, is Professor Rohan Munasinghe from the University of Moratuwa, the Department of Electronic and Telecom Engineering. Now then, Professor, this is all very wonderful because it's made in Sri Lanka, and you're harnessing all this brilliant Sri Lankan talent. Is there a big waiting list to join your program?
Yeah, that's a sure possibility.
Yeah.
Ongoing research projects are there,
Right.
but we are very selective in picking up the students and also outside parties for our projects who are really passionate about UAVs and skilled
Right.
in that area. Because after all, UAV is not for everybody, as you know.
Yeah.
So there should be some sort of inherited skills and the interest to engage in this kind of work.
Right.
So therefore, I usually interview my students, handpick them, and deploy them for various UAV projects.
Right.
There are a number of projects going on, and depending on the interest and skills, I deploy them for these projects.
And is this all part of the free education that's available in our country, or do you have to pay for this sort of specialist?
It's part of free education.
Absolutely wonderful. It's made me feel very proud to be Sri Lankan this morning. Wonderful. And you have our network's best wishes on this program they're doing. But tell me, what are the challenges that you're facing in the production and development of UAVs and the drones?
Yeah, we don't have technical challenges.
No.
But we have other challenges. Like, for example, penetrating to our local industries or local government institutions, and to convince them that they can use our drones for their usual work.
Yeah.
For example, surveying.
Yeah.
We recently did a project funded by UNDP.
Right.
I must be grateful for UNDP for funding this project.
Yeah.
But the end user is not UNDP, it is the Land Use Policy Planning Department.
Right.
They have been doing these land use assessments using ground surveying,
Right.
which takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and also it's
So
not
what did you all
very
do
accurate.
on this particular thing then for the UNDP? What did you all do?
Yes, we created, using our drones,
Yeah.
100 square kilometer area in Kakirawa.
Right.
Right? This is high resolution, up-to-date map.
Right.
We took about 2 weeks to complete the whole thing,
Right.
100 square kilometers.
Right.
That's the good thing about using drones.
Right.
And then we have given the map to Land Use Policy Planning Department.
Right.
Now they are estimating how much of this land is being used for, say, home gardening,
Right.
how much is for coconuts, how much water, roads, whatever.
Right.
They do these estimates right now.
What about just a similar thing? Can we use it to help with to help our news teams to report on the traffic this morning, for example?
Yeah, instead of using helicopters,
Yeah.
I think you're using
Yes.
helicopters for traffic monitoring. We can deploy a team of drones, very small drones,
Yeah.
right, to loiter around Colombo city,
Right.
and get the latest updated information much quicker than a helicopter. And we can actually further process our aerial imagery,
Yeah.
and deliver you exact information you need
Right.
by processing the aerial images.
Right.
So that is already being done in some other some developed countries,
Right.
but we can do it here also.
And Professor, the units that you all are developing, these UAVs, how does it compare to the quadrocopters that are sort of widely available?
Right, good question. A lot of people ask me this, quadcopters.
Yes.
Quadcopters are, they have very short endurance.
Yeah.
You can't effectively have more than 10-15 minute endurance.
Right.
So within that time, you cannot deploy this for any significant work, according to my understanding.
Yeah.
But you can take aerial photos, right, and cover a small event, a crowd gathering, but not beyond that.
Right.
You can't use the drones quadcopters for the type of applications I just mentioned about mapping 100 square kilometer area. Definitely you need to have a fixed wing, long endurance UAVs. That endurance has to be at least half an hour.
And what was the role that your department played during the war? Did you all help the Sri Lanka Air Force?
Unfortunately, at that time, we did not have our UAV program during the wartime. We started our UAV program around 2011, 2012, after the war.
So the UAVs that were used during the war would have been probably the Israeli made.
That's right. They were imported from Israel.
Right. And can you all compare yourselves now to those Israeli products?
Well, we are a university, so there are limits for us to develop UAVs. I think we cannot go beyond 10-12 kilogram. And then it becomes part of Sri Lanka Air Force, for example. They have their own UAV programs going on.
I want to put you on the spot.
Yes.
Can you do this for us live? Can you do this for our network live to say report on the traffic?
Sure. I think I'm willing to do that. Be part of this, so we can discuss and plan and deploy.
I don't have the permission of our group finance director for this business, but how much will it cost us?
I guess you need a small drone for this, but number of them, right? A single unit will cost about 3 million to 3.5 million rupees.
Yes. What about this thing that has a range of about or endurance of 70 minutes? What about that? Will that do?
That will be even more expensive.
Right.
And that one, 10 kilogram one, Seahawk, you need a runaway to take off.
Okay.
Yeah, we are developing that.
How big runaway do you need?
Actually, runway length is not more than 50-70 meters.
Right.
But the thing is, to take off and land, you need a clear space around you.
So we could land in the I don't know, SSC ground or NCC or somewhere like that, in an open playground space.
Yeah, but if there are tall trees around,
then you
that might be an issue. So we are actually.
But but this is a commercial possibility then. For you to do this and fast report.
But you don't have to go for that heavy stuff.
Right.
You can use, let's say, 4 kilogram, 4.5 kilogram. Smaller ones. Right. Still having higher endurance. We can develop that for you, right? Like for example, Sea Mapper is a smaller UAV we developed, and the weight is about 4 kilograms.
Right.
And we can put a 10cc engine for that and fly for 1.5 hours.
Professor Munasinghe, let me ask you this. If I say to you, can we do this live next week, is it something that you can arrange as a demo for us? To do it live?
Yes, we can do that.
So we'll get our producers to call you, and we'll try and do something live using one of your UAVs.
Excellent.
And perhaps report on the traffic next week.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Can do that.
It's time to go for another break. And don't go away, because this is Newsline. Stay with us.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
සැනින් එසැනින් සියල්ලගෙන එන ඔබේ ජීවිතය අලුත් කරන ප්‍රවෘත්තියක වටිනාකම.
TV1 News හැමදාම රාත්‍රී 8ට.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And welcome back to Newsline, where it's a very technical Newsline this morning, and we're talking about unmanned aerial vehicles and drones and so on. So, Professor, This is all very wonderful, but from a commercial aspect, and as the University of Morocco as a whole, what would you say has been the most successful commercial program that that the university has undertaken or has achieved?
We have few technology development processes going on right now.
Yeah.
By names, it is IC Design Center. We initiated a couple of years back. We are trying to design and build ICs locally, integrated circuits, the small chips that you call it, chips, that go into electronic consumer products like cameras, TVs, etc. We have never been able to do this in Sri Lanka up until now. So with the government funding, we started that. And we have biomedical engineering program going on in our department. And we have robotics programs going on. And Sri Lanka is going to start the Center of Excellence for Robotics Applications. And we are part of that to use robotics technology for local development. And then UAVs, of course, coming up. So there are a number of different technologies being developed and deployed for local industries. And I think they are doing good right now.
I see. And the viewer is asking us, how high can these things fly? I think they're getting excited because we may have this live thing going. So how high up can you fly?
We can fly because this is fully autonomous. It can fly, I would say, if you need a number, maybe 1 kilometer, 1.5.
Oh, safely out of the way.
Yes.
So let's talk about in terms of size. Let's say the World Trade Center. How much higher than the World Trade Center will this thing fly?
I think World Trade Center, if you look at it, it's not very high, right?
No, not right. About 39 floors.
So we are talking about hundreds of meters or even more than 1 kilometer. So it's a substantial height compared with the World Trade Center. But the thing is this: why do you need height? For what?
I'm just thinking about people who are going to say, "Oh, look, this blessed thing might come crashing into us." But if it's high up there, it's out of the way.
Okay. But thing is, you use unmanned aerial vehicles to fly relatively lower and get the clear images of the ground. So maybe there are other applications where you need the height. But a lot of applications we have dealt with, we need 100 meter, 150 meter, 200 or maximum up to 500 meter limit. So it's an application requirement to stay in that altitude to get whatever you need images from the ground.
Professor, are you aware that our group brought GSM technology to this region even before the United States did? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I heard of that. Yes.
I see. Well, you know, our group's been quite innovative in various areas, and we would love to have this discussion with your department, and we're very keen on doing this business live and to explore fully the possibilities that may present itself.
I'm happy to be part of this.
And about how many students did you say you have in all? About 100?
Yeah, over the last few years, about 20-25 students have worked with me. And right now I have about 6-7 students as my strong core in UAV development. Some of the students, they did their final year projects with me, and now they are doing their masters with me, working on the same lines, UAV technology development.
I see. And do you feel that in a post-war situation, how big do you think you'll be able to grow your this business?
Yeah, I have already started some collaboration with various people, still in the discussion level. Like, for example, the Mahayalu Palama Agriculture Research Center. So the director of that institution, Dr. Virakon, is very receptive So we are going to go there
Yeah.
and deploy our UAVs with the sensors required for precision agriculture.
Right.
And we will do a pilot project somewhere in May.
Right.
Then we can show to the Sri Lanka, okay, how we can use our drones to improve the productivity
Right.
of our agriculture sector.
Right.
And then we have the package delivery drone
Yeah.
being developed
Right.
to transport urgent packages from one point to another.
Right.
Let's say urgent blood sac from blood bank to a nearby hospital.
Yeah.
Going through the normal road
Yeah.
through traffic times
I
takes
see.
a lot of time. So you can lift this blood sac from, say, blood bank and deliver it to the nearby hospital, maybe Jawadarpur somewhere.
Ah.
Yeah, in 10
I was
15
going to
minutes
ask
time.
you about that,
Yeah.
actually, for the use of these UAVs for deliveries.
Yes, yes.
I was actually going to ask you about the fried chicken and the pizzas. But now that you mentioned the medical things, that might be even more.
And in disaster situation, you want to deliver,
Yeah.
say, a mobile phone to a trapped victim, a water bottle, something
Well,
like that.
when
Essential
you talk
stuff.
of disaster management and disaster response,
Yep.
Our network is easily one of the leaders in this field, because we've done so much and we've had so much of experience
Yeah, I
in
know,
this. So what are the possibilities of, so you have equipment that can pick something up and go and drop it somewhere else?
We have already developed that.
Right.
So that is the latest addition to our lineup of drones. We name it C-Hex.
Right.
It's a hexacopter. I think there's a live video clip is also there. You can play it. You can lift 1.5 kilogram payload
Right.
from one point and deliver it at some other point, and then it comes back
Right.
fully autonomously.
Right.
So that is for package delivery.
We were actually going to show our viewers some of the images from the University of Monaco's program, but unfortunately for some technical difficulties we appear not to be able to run that. But we appreciate you sharing this the latest trends that's going on, and we always knew that the University of Monaco had these sort of golden nuggets of programs going on. Many congratulations to you, to your students, and may you have all the luck and all our good wishes, actually.
Thank you very much.
And Professor Munasinghe, it's been a great pleasure having you on this program. We will be in touch with you about doing this thing
Pleasure to be
live
with you.
for next week.
Yes.
Thank you very much indeed. And on that note, and just as we end today, sorry, one last question. You said about 3 million for one of these things.
Yes.
So that's a lot of drones we could have if we had all that money from the central bank bond issue. Well, there you go. On that note, thank you for watching Newsline. Thank you, Professor Munasinghe. And we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow, helping you stay connected. Take care and God bless.